My beloved child, do you hear the call that is echoing deep within your soul? That call does not come from the world, nor from the small dreams you once nurtured, but from my very heart. Today I ask you, are you ready to walk forward, not with the trembling steps of the flesh, but with the wings of faith, the wings that will lift you beyond the borders of fear and carry you into the promised land of destiny? I ask you not to test you, but to awaken you. For I know that deep within you still cling to invisible threads, threads of familiarity, of things that make you feel safe, yet at the same time bind your spirit. You are still afraid of what is unknown. You still hold tightly to what is old, the patterns, the people, the habits that once made you believe they were your refuge. But my child, I tell you, this truth: safety is not always a sign of life. Sometimes it is the mark of stagnation. I did not create you to remain still. I created you to soar, to reach for what lies beyond your grasp, to see that when you dare to step beyond the shore, the waters will part before you. Just as Abraham left his homeland, not knowing where he was going, but knowing that my voice was enough, so now I call you to leave the place of comfort and move toward what I have prepared. You cannot grow if you keep clinging to what has already passed. A seed cannot become a tree if it fears the soil that buries it. Likewise, your soul cannot bear fruit if you are unwilling to step into the unfamiliar season I am opening before you. In this season, you will learn to trust without seeing the outcome, to walk through the darkness while keeping peace within, to listen to my voice amidst the noise of the world. I know it is not easy. I know there will be moments when you tremble, when you cry out, "Lord, where am I going? Why can't I see anything?" But it is precisely in those uncertain steps that you will discover faith needs no proof, only surrender. I am placing you in a season of movement, not to disorient you, but to teach you how to walk with me. You may think you are not ready, but I see within you the seed of readiness that was sown long ago. That seed has been waiting to sprout, and the time is now. When fear rises, remember you are not walking alone. When you feel weak, remember, my strength is made perfect in your weakness. When you do not know how to go on, remember I am the way, the truth, and the life. As long as your hand remains in mine, every rough path will be made smooth, every valley lifted, and every mountain brought low. My child, I know you have been wounded in your journey. There were times you trusted and were betrayed, times you opened your heart and were rejected, and now you fear to open a new door. But you do not realize that every wound was a pruning that you might bear more fruit. Every loss was a clearing, preparing space for something greater to come. I never allow you to lose anything without the intention to give you something far better. So let go of the old. Do not cling to what has expired in my plan. Do not let fear make you forget that you were created to be brave. I do not promise that the new path will be easy, but I promise it will be worth it. There will be nights when you must walk in silence, but in that silence you will hear my voice more clearly than ever before. There will be moments when you feel like you are going against the current. That is because you are moving in the right direction. There will be times you think you are lost, but truly, you are only being led through a shortcut of grace. Do not fear what you cannot understand, for understanding does not keep you safe. My presence does. Now I open before you a new door. It does not look like what you have seen before, nor does it bear the familiar shape of your past, but beyond it lies the promised land, the mission I have chosen uniquely for you. Do not wait until you feel ready, for feelings are ever changing. Step forward in faith, for faith unlocks what reason cannot. When you dare to step, I will do the rest. When you dare to leave the shore, I will command the waves. When you dare to believe, I will act. Remember, my beloved, I did not call you to fail. Every preparation, every trial, every tear you have shed has purpose. None of it is wasted. They are the stones paving the bridge toward your destiny. Today I do not merely ask, "Are you ready?" I declare to you, Go, for I go with you. You do not walk alone into the darkness, for I am the light. You need not fear tomorrow, for I am already there before you. Beloved, chosen one, rise and stand tall. Cast off the old garment of fear and clothe yourself in the armor of faith. Let my breath blow upon your heart and awaken the flame you thought had died. Step forward, not as one who is being driven, but as one who is being sent. For I am not only calling you out of your comfort zone, but into the sacred realm where my grace, power, and presence will surround you. And when you look back, you will see that the very place you once feared to step into was where the miracle began. My beloved, the new season I am leading you into is not a simple cycle of time, but a sacred phase, woven with testing, purification, and unveiling. This season will touch the three deepest layers of your soul: faith, will, and heart, where each will be weighed on the scales of truth. I will not let you walk through this in confusion or blindness, for I am the faithful guide, the one who sees the end from the beginning. Therefore, open your heart to listen, not only with your ears, but with your spirit. For the words I speak today are the map of your destiny, the heartbeat aligned with the will I engraved before the foundation of the world. You will come to understand that this season of testing is not meant to frighten you, but to teach you how to stand firm against the wind. It will challenge the trust you place in me, when all that feels familiar fades away, when promises seem distant, and when the traces of grace appear hidden. But my child, it is in those seemingly darkest hours that true faith is born. I will teach you to believe, not because you see, but because you know that I am the unchanging one. Just as Abraham stood in the wilderness seeing nothing but emptiness and yet believed in the promise, so will you be called to walk through the dark, guided by the light of faith. Micah 7:8 says, "Though I fall, I will rise. Though I sit in darkness, the Lord will be my light." You will learn to rise from the very place you have fallen, not by your own strength, but by the invisible power of grace. The second dimension I will refine in you is your will, the deepest part of your being that you often try to protect. I will allow circumstances to come, not to destroy, but to shape you. You will find yourself standing at crossroads, where your own desires will wrestle against mine. There will be moments when you want to hold on, yet I ask you to let go. Moments when you long to speak, yet I tell you to remain silent. Moments when you wish to act, and I tell you to wait. And in each of these choices, I will see what you truly worship. You cannot cling to both your plan and mine. Therefore, this season will be a journey of surrender, where you learn to say, "Let your will be done," even before you understand why. Believe, my child, that every time you lay down what you want, you are making room for what I have ordained. Sometimes I must break your self-will to fill it with the strength of the kingdom, for only when your will is washed clean of pride can you walk fully in my power. And the third dimension, your heart, is where everything begins and ends. I will touch the hidden places you thought were at rest. I will shine my light into the dark corners you do not wish to revisit, so you may see how deeply you still need grace. You may think you have forgiven, but I will show you the roots of bitterness still buried. You may think you have been humbled, but I will reveal the longing for recognition that still lingers. You may believe you have fully trusted, yet I will uncover the thin threads of doubt within. In this season, you will not only be refined, but healed. I will replace your heart of stone with a new heart, tender, responsive, and able to love as I love. When I am done, you will no longer react out of pain, but respond with compassion. No longer move in fear, but abide in peace. Do not think, my child, that I am preparing you for a temporary battle. No, I am preparing you for a reign, a position I have ordained for you in my kingdom. Every trial is a classroom, every wound a chapter, every tear a line of testimony written by my hand. You will one day look back and see that no moment was wasted, for all things were fitting into the grand design of divine purpose. When the winds blow, you will remain standing, for your roots have gone deep into the soil of faith. When people change, you will remain steady, for your heart will be anchored in my unchanging nature. Therefore, do not fear when I lead you into solitude. It is not a punishment, but an invitation to hear my voice above the noise of the world. Let the clamor of human opinions fall silent until only my breath remains within you. I will teach you to discern the voice of truth from the echo of fear. You will learn to stand firm amid the winds of opinion and the storms of judgment, because you will know who holds the helm of your soul. When everything around you crumbles, you will remain in peace, for you will have learned to build your life upon the rock of my word. Remember, my beloved, the words I speak today are not meant to stir your emotions, but to carve the foundation of your life. Every word is a seed, and when you plant them in faith, they will grow into strength. Do not let them drift away as mere sound. Let them become action breath and the very rhythm of how you live each day. For in this season, no one else can walk the path for you. Only you can follow the blueprint I have written for your destiny. And if you obey, I promise you this, you will not only pass through the season of testing, but emerge carrying new light, a new heart, and a new vision. My beloved child, I was there in that quiet room where no one heard your sobs, where dim light fell upon a face etched with exhaustion. I was there when you bowed your head in silence, trying to hold back your tears for fear that someone might see. But I saw them, every drop, every sigh, every unspoken plea. I counted the nights you lay awake and heard the cries of your heart amid the chaos of your thoughts. I did not merely observe, I walked with you through it all. When you thought you were alone, that was when I was closest, holding your hand with an unchanging love. I rejoiced to see you still standing, though your knees trembled. I smiled when you chose faith over despair, when you chose to keep walking instead of giving up. For in every moment you refused to surrender, my light shone brighter through you. O my chosen one, I know how weary your heart has grown. I know there are days when you look around and see nothing but darkness. I know there are hours when you whisper, "How long, Lord? When will I find rest?" You think I do not hear, but every faint whisper of yours echoes through heaven. You think I am silent, but I am listening deeper than words. I am listening to your soul. And today I tell you, everything you have gone through, whether storm or calm, has a purpose. No tear has fallen in vain. No pain has been wasted. Every crack in your heart is where my light slips in. Every fall has become an opportunity for me to lift you up, so that you may know I am the strength you need. My child, do not let trials make you doubt my hand. Remember, a seed can only sprout once it is buried in the ground and broken open. So too I have allowed you to be buried in silence and solitude, so that new life may arise within you. Trials do not come to destroy, but to refine. Pain does not come to crush, but to teach you to see through the eyes of faith. As gold is purified in fire, you are being cleansed to shine more radiantly. I am doing a work unseen by the natural eye, preparing you for a glory far beyond what you can imagine. Do not think your journey is random. Every step you take lies within the design I have ordained. I am the Lord of order, not of confusion, of purpose, not of chance. When you think you are lost, you are in fact walking the right path, for I am guiding you along the narrow way few choose to tread. At times I must lead you where no map exists, so that you may learn to trust my voice rather than your own understanding. You will one day realize that every turn, every narrow passage, every steep climb had its reason. Nothing is wasted in my plan. You ask, why is the journey so long? Because I am not building a temporary house. I am building an everlasting temple within your soul. I do not decorate the surface. I engrave the essence. I did not create you for a fleeting moment, but for eternity. And what is eternal is never made in haste. I am teaching you patience, for patience is the mark of those who trust. When you learn to wait, you learn to love me, not by emotion but by faith. My child, do not be afraid when you do not understand. You are only seeing the underside of the tapestry I am weaving, where the threads seem tangled and the colors appear mismatched. But I, the master artisan, see from above where the pattern unfolds in perfection. You see confusion, but I see beauty. You see chaos, but I see harmony. One day when I turn the tapestry over, you will weep, not from sorrow, but from wonder, realizing that every tangled thread once caused you pain had its rightful place in the masterpiece of glory I prepared. You are still in that process, the process I call recreation. I am rewriting the story of your life with the ink of your wounds. Every painful chapter is not erased but transformed into the prelude of redemption. You will tell this story, not with the voice of a victim, but with the tone of one restored. For I have not only delivered you from suffering, I have made you stronger through it. I have not erased your past. I have turned it into a testimony of grace. My beloved, know this, I have never been far. Even when you feel my silence, I am still at work. Like a potter shaping clay in stillness, I am molding your soul until it bears the perfect form of my will. I am shaping you so that you may carry my glory without breaking. So do not despise the seasons of pressure, stretching, and refinement. These are the very things enlarging your capacity to hold more light, more love, and more strength than ever before. My beloved child, you may not yet see the full picture, but I do. I know the destination, and I know precisely what you must walk through to arrive there. Do not fear the long road, for I am with you every step of the way. Do not fear the trials, for I have measured them before allowing them to come. Do not fear your tears, for I will turn them into rivers that water the harvest awaiting you. When everything around you seems to crumble, remember that you are standing on the unshakable foundation, me. My beloved one, I have not called you to remain where you feel comfortable, where your soul has grown accustomed to safety, predictability, and control. No, my child, I am calling you out of the land of familiarity, out from the walls of comfort that have silently become chains around your spirit. For the greatest danger is not in walking the wrong path, but in staying too long where you were once right. The place where you now stand may appear peaceful, but if you remain there too long, it will become a prison for the calling I have placed within you. I did not create you to survive in the safety zone, but to shine in places no one has dared to tread. O chosen one, I know your heart. I know every moment of hesitation, every trembling heartbeat when I whisper, go. I see how you want to believe but are afraid. I hear your silent question, what if I fail? What if I take a step and see nothing ahead? But my child, true faith does not need to see in order to move. Faith does not wait for clarity to believe that I am there. Faith is when you dare to set your foot upon unseen ground, simply because you know the one who calls is faithful. When I say go, it means you already have everything you need, because I, myself, am your assurance. Are you afraid? Let me tell you, fear is not a sign of weakness, but proof that you are about to step into something greater. Fear often appears right at the threshold of a miracle. The enemy knows this, and so it will try to make you doubt, to convince you that my voice in your heart is just imagination. But remember, my child, I am not a product of emotion. I am the reality of truth. My voice does not come from fear, but from eternity, where every plan is already complete. Therefore, when you feel my urging to go further, it is not recklessness, it is obedience. I know there are nights when you have asked me to let you stay in what is familiar because you do not want to face the unknown. You whisper, Lord, I just want peace. But my beloved, true peace does not come from shelter. It comes from my presence. Even if you are in the midst of the storm, if I am there, you are safe. Even if you stand upon the waters like Peter, as long as your eyes remain fixed on me, you will not sink. You think safety means the absence of storms, but I tell you the truth. The safest place to be is in the very center of my will, even when surrounded by chaos. There are heights I have destined for you, places. Your eyes have never seen blessings. You have never imagined doors you never thought could open. But my child, those heights cannot be reached by standing still. You must move forward not with certainty but with trust. You must leave behind the old land where I once blessed you to enter the new land where I am preparing glory. Remember, even Abraham did not know his destination when he left his home. He only knew one thing God had spoken, and so he went. That is why he became the father of faith. And now I am inviting you into the same journey, not so that you may lose yourself, but so that you may become, to step into the new. My child, you must be willing to let go of the old. You cannot carry both fear and faith, both doubt and hope, both old wounds and new vision. You must choose. I know it is hard. I know there are things you've held on to so long that you cannot imagine living without them. Relationships, habits, even the pain you have mistaken for identity. But I tell you this, what was once a blessing in a past season can become a burden in the new one. Let go, not because those things were evil, but because their purpose is complete. When you cling to what has ended, you resist what I am doing now. Do not worry about where you are going, for I will lead the way. Do not fear losing your direction, for I am your compass. Do not be afraid of the darkness, for I am the light itself. You do not walk alone. I am closer than your breath, stronger than your fear, and more faithful than your understanding. Even when you cannot see me, I am there. Even when you cannot hear me, I am working. Just as Moses crossed the Red Sea, not knowing the waters would part, you too will walk through the path I open in the place where there once seemed to be no way. You need only to step forward, the rest is mine. My child, faith never grows in comfort. It becomes strong only when placed amid adversity. Look back. Every turning point in your life came after a season when it seemed you had lost everything. It was when you had nothing left to cling to that you truly learned how to lean on me. It was when you had no solution left that you discovered I am the deliverer. It was when you were weary that you understood real strength does not come from yourself but from my grace. Therefore, do not fear your weakness, for in your weakness my power is made perfect. Remember, my child, I did not call you to destroy you, but to unfold the potential I placed within you from the very beginning. You were created to move forward, not to remain still. You were designed to soar, not to shrink back into the cocoon of fear. Each time you hear my call to go, it is a confirmation that you are ready for a new season. You may not see the whole picture, but I do. You may not understand the path, but I have already set it. And if you remain faithful with each step, you will witness miracles, not merely the miracles of outward change, but the miracles of inward transformation. I am training you for greater things. I am expanding your vision and teaching you to see beyond human limitations. What once caused you anxiety will soon become a testimony of what you have overcome. I am moving you from fragile belief to steadfast faith, from dependence on people to full reliance on God. And then you will understand what I desire is not merely that you reach the destination, but that you are transformed along the way. Be courageous, my child. Every step you take in obedience is a step into glory. Every time you choose faith over fear, the heavens open a little wider. Each time you let go of the old, you draw nearer to what I have promised. Remember, I did not choose you because you were ready. I chose you to make you ready. Do not focus on your limitations. Look to the one who has none. Do not count how many steps you can take. Look to the one who holds the entire path in his hands. And when you step out, my beloved, you will see that what I have spoken is not a metaphor, but the truth. Walking with me is never stepping into emptiness. It is stepping into the realm of miracles. There you will find yourself in the light of my will. There you will know that every fear was only a passing breeze. while faith anchored in me will stand firm forever. So rise up, my beloved one, cast off the old garments of fear, doubt, and complacency. Step out from the shadow of the past and embrace the light of the future I have prepared. Do not let familiarity keep you from the miraculous. For before you stands a new door, the door to the promised land, where I await you with open arms, saying, "Come, my child. What I have promised is now fulfilled." My beloved, you have grown accustomed to living within the confines of the familiar, the habits, the thought patterns, the limits you unknowingly built around yourself. You have learned to walk by what feels safe and have convinced yourself that safety is good. But now I am doing something new, something far beyond all you have known, and to receive it, you must be willing to be reshaped. I am remolding your life, redefining the way you see, think, and believe. What I am about to do cannot fit into the old vessel. You cannot carry my new wine in an old wineskin, for it will burst. I need your willingness to be transformed, not merely in your actions, but in your mindset, in how you see me, yourself, and the world around you. My child, this is a season of transformation, but true change does not come from striving to act differently. It comes from allowing me to renew you from within. You cannot hold both the old and the new. You cannot enter a new season of grace while clinging to an old mind filled with fear and control. Therefore, I call you to a posture of surrender, not surrender in weakness, but surrender in strength, in trust that my hand is working for your good. Believe that everything I allow carries purpose. When I move you away from the old, it is not because I wish to take from you, but because I long to give you something greater. When I close a door, it is not to confine you, but to protect you. My child, you must learn to hear my voice above every other sound. In this world, there are many voices, the voice of fear, of reason of the past, and the murmurs of those around you. Yet only one voice leads you to life, the voice of my command. That voice does not always thunder like the storm. It often comes in a gentle breeze, in the whisper of peace. My beloved, keep your heart still so you may hear me. When the world grows loud, I speak through stillness. When you learn to be silent before me, you will discern what is true and what is false. Place your trust in me more than in your emotions. For emotions change like the wind, but my word remains steadfast forever. My beloved child, I have seen your faithfulness in small things. I have watched you choose integrity when no one was watching, choose forgiveness when you were wounded, and choose perseverance when others gave up. I have seen your prayers in the night, your quiet tears born from a heart that longs to please me. And now I am enlarging your territory. I am entrusting you with more, not because you are perfect, but because you are willing. Yet remember this, my child, every great calling is followed by a deep refining. The greater the responsibility, the stronger the fire. Do not fear the fire, for my fire does not destroy, it purifies. It does not strip away your worth, it reveals the gold within you. Every trial is not a punishment, but evidence that you are being prepared for something greater. When I allow the wind to rise, it is not to knock you down, but to teach you how to soar. When I permit the storm, it is not to drown you, but to show you how to walk upon the waters. Like a blacksmith striking the steel, I am shaping you into a sharp and mighty instrument in my hand. I am not a harsh master, nor a distant observer. I am your Father, the one who loves you deeply, the one whose eyes never leave you. When you are pressed, I feel it too. When you are weary, I am there to sustain you. Every trial you face is under my careful watch. I know your limits, and I allow the fire only within the measure you can endure through the grace I provide. You think I am silent, but in truth I am working not outside your life, but within your very soul. Do not mistake trials as a sign of my absence. On the contrary, it is in trials that I am closest to you. I am using every hardship to teach you what peace alone could never reveal. In peace, you learn gratitude. In affliction, you learn strength. In waiting, you learn endurance. In loss, you discover the true meaning of grace. And in weakness you learn that my power is sufficient for you. As Paul once said, "When I am weak, then I am strong, for my strength is made perfect in your weakness." My child, what I allow today is not to punish, but to shape you. I am driving your roots deeper in faith, so that when the storm comes, you will not be uprooted. I am widening your sky so you may see beyond what your eyes perceive. When you ask me for power, I send you trials to teach you how to use that power. When you ask for faith, I place you in situations that require you to believe. When you desire to be like me, I lead you down the same road I once walked, the road of obedience, of trust, and of unconditional love. Therefore, my child, receive every challenge as a gift, for each time you endure, a portion of my glory is revealed in you. Every time you choose forgiveness over bitterness, my light shines brighter within your soul. Every time you choose to keep walking instead of giving up, you become living proof that my grace is real. Nothing you endure is wasted. It is writing the story of faith, a story that will one day become a testimony of hope for many. I know, my beloved, there are moments when you wish life were easier, but if you only walked smooth roads, you would never know how high you could climb. If I removed every difficulty, you would never discover the strength that lies within you. It is the struggle that matures the soul. It is the waiting that makes blessings precious. And it is when you learn to lean on me in every circumstance that you finally live in true freedom. I am teaching you that faith is not merely believing I exist, but trusting that I am good even when circumstances are not. Trusting that my plan is perfect even when you cannot see the outcome. Trusting that everything I do is born out of love for you, even when you do not yet understand why. When you reach that place where your faith no longer wavers by what is seen, you will know the peace that surpasses all understanding. So stand firm, my child. The storm will not last forever. The night will not remain dark forever. The trial will not continue endlessly. Dawn will come, and when the light breaks forth, you will realize you are no longer the same. You have grown stronger, deeper, and closer to me than ever before. You will see that everything I have done was to bring you nearer to your destiny, to become the radiant reflection of my glory in this world. Therefore, do not fear the new thing I am doing. Open your heart, surrender, and trust. Do not see trials as your enemy, but as the arm that refines. For in all things I remain your father, never a stern master, but a devoted lover of your soul, always working to bring forth good from every circumstance. And when my work in you is complete, you will not only bear the marks of testing, but the imprint of glory, the glory of a soul refined, purified, and shining with the light of heaven. My beloved child, there will be days when you feel you cannot take another step. The road ahead may seem endless, the mountains before you insurmountable. The dreams you once held close may suddenly feel distant, and your heart may whisper of surrender. I know this, for I have seen the tears you've shed on a journey no one else could understand. Yet, my child, it is in those very moments of seeming weakness that I am nearer to you than ever before. I do not stand at the end of the path waiting for you to succeed before I love you. I walk beside you step by step through the quiet battles that only you and I know. When you feel exhausted, when your prayers seem to vanish into the void, when you can no longer sense my presence, remember, my silence is not my absence. At times I remain silent, not because I am far, but because I am allowing your faith to mature. Just as a father must release his child's hand so that the child may learn to walk, I too sometimes step back so you may discover the strength I have already placed within you. Yet even then I am right behind you, ready to lift you up each time you fall. There will be days when you look around and see only solitude. Friends may not understand you, family may turn away, and even those you once helped may cause you pain. But my child, do not let these wounds make your heart bitter. Let them deepen your compassion, strengthen your empathy, and draw you closer to me. For when every fragile support falls away, you will find that I alone am the foundation that can never be shaken. The world may forget, but I never will. My love for you is not measured by your success, but by your steadfastness in faith. My dear one, I call you to stand firm, not with the stubborn will of human strength, but with the quiet confidence born of absolute trust in the one who never changes. Remember, every step through hardship is a step in your becoming. Perseverance is not about striving until you are weary, but about standing strong through my strength. For when you are weak, then you are truly strong, because my power is made perfect in your weakness. I do not ask you to be unbreakable. I only ask that you never let go of my hand. The trials you face are not random. They are allowed to reveal what already resides within you: strength, faith, endurance, and the calling I planted in your soul. A seed can only sprout when buried in the dark soil, and so too you grow through the night of adversity. Do not fear when you cannot see the light, for in that darkness you will discover the flame I placed within you long ago, the flame that no storm can extinguish. Let your hard days become the hands by which I shape you. Every loss, every tear, every scar, each one is a touch of my craftsmanship, carving beauty from what seems broken. Sometimes you think I am taking away, but in truth I am refining. Just as a goldsmith burns away every impurity to reveal pure gold, I use the fire of testing to make you more radiant, stronger, and clearer in reflecting my image. Do not grow weary when your good works seem unseen or unrewarded. Some seeds take a long time to break through the soil. You may not see the roots growing deep beneath the surface, but they are preparing for a great harvest. Do not measure your season by what your eyes can see today. This may be the season of sowing in tears, but in due time you will reap in songs of joy. Never forget I am the Lord of time. I am never late, only perfectly on time. When you feel drained, do not try to carry everything on your own. Come sit beside me and rest in my presence. Let me be your strength, your stream in the desert. I am the living well, come and drink. Every drop of grace that flows from me will refresh your soul and revive the barren places of your heart. As you draw from the well of my grace, you will find that you can walk again, not because you are strong enough, but because I am alive within you. Do not seek strength in human encouragement, for the hearts of men shift like the wind. Find your strength in me, for I am the rock that cannot be moved. When you lean on me, even when storms arise, you will stand firm. For I am not only your refuge, I am your renewal. In me your wounds become testimonies, and your failures turn into witnesses of grace's victory. My beloved child, look back on the times when you thought you had fallen. How many times did I lift you up again? Remember the tears you once believed were in vain. None of them fell to the ground unnoticed by me. Each tear became a seed of blessing. Every pain became a lesson I used to shape you. When you begin to see everything through my light, you will understand that no suffering is meaningless. Everything works together for the beautiful work I am building within you. So, my child, when you feel weary, remember that you are in my hands. When the road feels too long, know that I am walking beside you. When fear creeps in, remember that my mighty arm covers you. And when you are weak, let me be your strength. My grace is not only sufficient for today, it is sufficient for every day until you complete your journey. Keep walking, even if each step feels small. What matters is that you do not stop. Let your heart anchor itself in hope, for hope is not a feeling, it is the lamp that guides you through the night. Hope does not rest upon circumstances, but upon my promise, a promise that never changes. You will reach the place I have prepared for. I myself am the one leading you. And when you look back, you will see that every scar, every tear, every moment of weakness has become a testimony to my enduring love. My beloved, stand firm, for those who persevere will witness wonders. The harvest will come just as I have promised. Then you will understand why I told you not to give up. You will realize that the very days you wanted to quit were the days bringing you closest to glory. You will see clearly that I never let you walk alone. And when you lift your eyes, you will recognize that every step, no matter how small, has led you to the place I have ordained, a place of unending peace, where your soul will find rest in my embrace. My beloved child, the time will come when I lift you higher to lands you have never set foot upon, where doors of influence, grace, and glory open before your eyes. Yet even as you stand in that light, temptation will approach softly like a gentle breeze, yet strong as an undercurrent, seeking to capture your heart. It will whisper, "Look how much you've achieved. Your efforts, your talent brought you here." And if you are not watchful, pride will creep in quietly, like weeds sprouting among the flowers of grace. I remind you of this not to make you afraid, but to keep your soul pure in the season of glory. For I know that success can be a greater test than hardship. In suffering you easily cry out to me, but in abundance you may forget the source of every blessing. When you are exalted, learn to bow low. When people praise you, lift your thanksgiving to me. When the light shines upon you, use that very light to reflect me, not to display yourself. Every gift, every opportunity, every victory, they all come from me. You are a steward of grace, not its owner. Nothing you achieve lies outside the orchestration of my hand. If I do not open the path, you cannot walk. If I do not give breath, you cannot stand. If I do not bless, you cannot bear fruit. Remember this: every good and perfect gift comes from the Father of lights. The more you receive, the more you must understand that you are merely an instrument in the hands of the Creator. Guard your heart, my child, for pride is the enemy of the anointing. It does not shout or storm, it seeps in sweetly like honey. It makes you believe you no longer need me, as much as before that you are wise enough to chart your own course. But my dear one, the very moment you think you no longer need me is the moment you begin to slip away from the path of blessing. I cannot pour out grace upon a proud heart, for my favor flows only into the lowly. Stay in the posture of worship. Do not let the same hand that lifts you up have to pull you down because of arrogance. When you humble yourself under my mighty hand, I will lift you up in due time. I raise you not to make you proud, but to place you higher so you can love deeper, serve better, and radiate my light farther. Remember, the throne of glory on which you sit today is not for human applause, but so you may become a channel of blessing to others. When others praise you, immediately return that glory to me. Do not let their words linger too long in your heart, for they can become invisible blades that wound your soul. Let your heart be like a mirror, reflecting every word of praise back to the true source of light, which is me. For when you walk in humility, I can entrust you with more. But if your ego begins to grow, I must withdraw my hand to protect your soul from ruin. My beloved, I have never forgotten the days you prayed in silence, the nights you wept on the floor when no one knew. I remember every word you whispered, "Lord, please use me." And now I am answering that prayer. But remember, when I use you, you must never forget that I am the source of that power. If you begin to think that you are the source, you will run dry. A river cannot produce its own water. It remains full only when connected to the spring. Therefore, stay connected to me, the fountain of living waters, and you will never run dry. Learn to live in humility not only through your actions but also through your thoughts. When your heart whispers, "I have done it," remind yourself, "No, it was God who did it through me." When you receive praise, respond with gratitude, not pride. When you find yourself loved by many, remember that such love exists because I am shining through you. If I were to withdraw that light, all that would remain is a faint shadow. My child, know that humility is not about belittling yourself, but about seeing yourself as I see you. When you understand that everything you have is a gift, arrogance will find no place in you. When you realize that I could have chosen anyone but chose you purely by grace, gratitude will replace pride. Let your heart be as soft as the soil, so that my seeds may continue to grow within it. There will come moments when I grant you influence greater than you have ever known. You will speak and your words will touch many souls. You will act and others will follow your example. But my child, that influence is not given for your glory, it is for mine. Every word, every decision, every action of yours must reflect my kindness and my righteousness. Do not let the light that shines upon you blind you to the one who made it shine. If you keep your heart humble, I will lift you even higher, for I know you will not steal my glory. I do not prevent you from shining. It is I who make you shine brighter, but I desire that your light always bear the mark of heaven, not of the flesh. You will be a lamp placed on a stand giving light to many. But remember, the oil within that lamp is not yours, it is mine. My child, walk in the spirit of a servant. When you stand at the height of success, bend low to lift others up. When you hold power, use it to heal, not to dominate. When you have a voice, use it to protect the weak, not to exalt yourself. In this humility, I will grant you lasting glory, the kind of glory the world cannot take away, for it does not belong to the world. My beloved one, let your only boast be in me. Let your joy not come from the applause of men, but from my smile upon you. Let your glory not rest in temporary achievements, but in your faithfulness to the mission I have given you. For when you humble yourself in the midst of blessing, I will make those blessings your eternal inheritance. And one day when you look back, you will see that every victory, every honor, every miracle you experienced, each was a mark of my grace. You will bow your head in grateful tears and say, "Not I, but you, Lord, have done it all." And in that moment, my child, I will see you as truly great, for you will have understood the full meaning of humility, and my glory will shine radiantly through you. My beloved, amid all the changes of this world, through the clamor of voices and the shifting of hearts, there is one thing that never changes: my love for you. It is not limited by time, not swayed by emotion, and not dimmed by your mistakes. It is an eternal flame burning steadfastly even through the darkest nights of your soul. Even when you are weak, when you fail, when you doubt, my love does not leave you. No sin runs deeper than my grace, and no abyss can stretch beyond the reach of my love. You may wander, but I still seek you. You may fall, but I still lift you up. You may let go, but I will never let go of you. Like the father who ran to embrace his lost child, I too run toward you, not to judge, not to condemn, but to love. I love you not because you are perfect, but because you are mine. Nothing, not distance, not failure, not pain, can separate you from that love. When storms arise, I am there. When the world around you trembles, I am there. When you stand on the mountain of triumph, I am still there. I do not change with the seasons, nor shift with circumstances. I am the Eternal One, the same yesterday, today, and forever, still loving you with unchanging devotion. Engrave this truth upon your heart: you are never alone. I go before you to prepare the way, behind you to protect you, and beside you to sustain you. My Spirit is the breath of strength within you. When you grow weary, He will renew your soul. When you lose your way, He will guide you. He is the whisper in your heart when the world shouts around you, the gentle breeze that calls you back when you stray. Do not fear when you do not know what to say, for the Holy Spirit will teach you. Do not be afraid when you do not know where to go, for the Holy Spirit will lead you. You need only keep your heart tender, ready to listen, ready to believe, ready to step forward. My child, let my peace cover your heart like a soft cloak in the chill of night. This peace does not come from the absence of hardship, but from my presence in the midst of the storm. It is the peace that surpasses all understanding, the peace that allows you to smile even as your tears fall, that keeps you standing firm when the ground beneath you trembles. No one can give this peace, and no one can take it away. It is my gift to you, so you may know that even when the world changes, I remain the one who keeps you steadfast. Lift up your head, my child. Do not let your soul be drowned by noise and shadows. Do not let your eyes be trapped by what is fleeting or by passing fears. Look to me, the creator of heaven and earth, the one who upholds the universe by the power of his word, the same hand that upholds you. When you look to me, the weight on your shoulders will grow light. When you look to me, your heart will be healed. When you look to me, you will see that I have never left your side. My child, your eyes are the windows of your soul. If you fix them on the storm, you will sink like Peter in the sea. But if you keep your gaze upon me, you will walk on water. Let faith be your vision, not fear. For I am your source of life, your strength, and your salvation. When you look to me, you will not only see the Savior, you will see yourself loved, chosen, and restored. I am making a way where there seems to be no way. You may not see it now, but I am working in silence. The doors that once slammed shut before you will open, not because you knocked harder, but because I have appointed the time for the key to turn. I am arranging people you have never met, aligning circumstances you thought were broken, bending paths you believed were dead ends. All of it is being shaped in your favor, for you are not merely living in my will, you are living in my beloved design. Do not doubt when you do not see immediate results. I am not the God of haste, I am the God of perfect timing. When you think things are slowing down, I am preparing something greater. When it seems that all doors have closed, I am leading you to another one filled with brighter light and deeper blessings. All I ask is that you keep believing, keep walking, and remain faithful. My child, there are things I do not reveal in advance, for if you knew, you would have no need of faith. There are seasons when I remain silent, for if I spoke, you would never learn to listen with your heart. But whether I speak or stay silent, act or wait, you can be certain of one truth. I am working for you. I see you. I see even the things you do not say. I know how hard you are trying, how bravely you are fighting, how you are holding on to faith even as your heart trembles. And I say to you this, my child, I myself am fighting for you. You need only be still and see the salvation of the Lord. What seems random in your eyes is in truth a step in my perfect plan. I am turning what was meant for harm into good. I am causing those who opposed you to become instruments in my hand. I am using pain itself to create something beautiful. Like a master weaver working on a tapestry, you may only see the tangled threads from the underside, but I behold the masterpiece from above. My child, hold on to faith when you cannot yet see. Sing even when you have no reason to sing. Give thanks while the rain still falls, for that very rain will cause flowers to bloom in the season to come. You do not need to know the whole path, only to know that I am the way. Do not let your heart be consumed by fear, disappointment, or the voices that contradict my word. The world will say you are late, but I say you are right on time. The world will say, you are not enough, but I say, my grace is sufficient for you. The world will say you are alone, but I say I am here. Lift up your head, child of light. I go before you. I not only open the way, I am the way. I not only arrange circumstances, I am Lord over them all. And when I have decreed something for you, no power on earth or under heaven can stand against it. Therefore walk with courage. Let your heart sing in the wilderness, for water is flowing beneath the dry ground. Let your eyes see beyond what is visible, for I am doing a new thing. And when you look back, you will see clearly that every step, every season, every tear, all were woven together by the thread of unchanging love. My beloved child, the path of faith is not a new path. It is the same road many generations have walked before you. Those who trusted in the darkness hoped in despair, and sang songs within the prison walls of suffering. They were not perfect, but they were faithful. They were not strong, but they were steadfast. And their faithfulness stands as a testimony that I, the living God, remain true to my promises. From Abraham to David, from Joseph to Moses, from the unnamed ones to the heroes of faith written in Scripture, each left footprints upon that sacred road. They did not merely tell their own stories, but told mine the story of faithfulness, of power, and of a love that never runs dry. My child, I want you to understand this. Every season of life carries divine meaning. No season is wasted, no moment forgotten. Every time and every circumstance, whether radiant morning or dark night, has been arranged by me with purpose. There is a time to sow and a time to reap, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to wait and a time to act. Sometimes you grow impatient, yearning to see results immediately. But I am teaching you the art of patience, a virtue known only by those who have matured in faith. Just as a farmer cannot force his crops to ripen early, neither can you hasten my will before its appointed time. I am the Lord of the harvest, and every season requires its own rhythm. The season of sowing may be soaked with tears, but the season of harvest will overflow with joy. The season of silence may make you feel alone, yet it is in that silence that I speak most deeply. The season of suffering may make you weak, but it is where you learn to be strong in me. And when the season of victory comes, you will not boast, because you will know that I have walked with you through every trial to bring you there. My beloved, faith is not a straight road. It is a journey of trust through what cannot yet be seen. There will be days when I let you walk without understanding, everything not to confuse you, but to teach you to live, not by logic, but by absolute trust. For if you could see everything, faith would no longer be needed. True faith is forged, not when prayers are answered, but when you continue to believe though they remain unanswered. Look back at those who went before you. They did not have everything, but they had me, and that was enough. Abraham did not know his destination, yet he walked on. Joseph was sold into slavery, yet he remained faithful. David hid in caves, yet he sang praises. Each of them endured seasons that seemed hopeless, yet it was in those very seasons that they were shaped into instruments of my glory. So it is with you, my child. Nothing you are going through is meaningless. I am using everything, the joy and the pain, to prepare you for a future filled with grace. Know that all things rest in my hands. No event occurs outside. My will, no pain escapes. My sight, no tear falls without being counted. You think you are losing, but you are being shaped. You think you are delayed, but I am aligning you with the rhythm of heaven. Delay is not denial. It is my way of ensuring you are strong enough to hold what I am about to give. I am not only the sovereign Lord over the universe, but also the master of every detail in your life. When you lost your way, I was directing your steps. When you grew weak, I had already prepared your support. When you were wounded, I had already appointed a season of healing. Everything I do is connected. Every event in your life is a link in the greater plan you cannot yet see. Like the potter who molds the clay with his hands, I too am shaping you through trials, joys, and even cracks, until you become a vessel of glory filled with my grace. Do not be afraid when your seasons change. A changing season does not mean I have changed. When I lead you into the wilderness, it is not to abandon you, but to teach you to drink directly from me, the true source of life. When I lead you into the storm, it is not to terrify you, but to show you that I am still calm upon the boat with you. And when I let you walk through darkness, it is not to make you lose your way, but so that my light within you may shine brighter than ever before. Every rise and fall you face is a brushstroke on the grand canvas of my design. You may see only a fragment, sometimes a dark, smudged corner, but I see the entire masterpiece, where every shade and contour blend together to create wonder. If I allow storms to come, it is because something must be cleansed. If I call you to wait, it is because the flower has not yet reached its appointed season to bloom. If I permit you to walk through pain, it is because something precious must be born from that very wound. My child, I want you not to fear when you do not understand. You do not need full understanding in order to trust me. You only need trust to see what I am doing. Learn to rest in my sovereignty, for I know what you need when you need it, and how it should come. I wrote your story before you took your first breath, and I have never written a single word in error. Therefore, my beloved, do not fear when the wind shifts, or lose heart when the path becomes steep. Everything is moving, not against you, but for you, guiding you toward the place I have prepared. Walk forward with confidence, even when the road ahead is unseen. I am the keeper of the seasons, and I am the one who holds you within them. Believe that no matter what season you are in, whether it is the time of blossoming or of fading, I am there orchestrating all things according to a perfect plan. I have never ceased working, even in moments when you think I am silent. Everything that happens is within my control, arranged to bring forth the best outcome for you. My precious one, rest in this truth. Nothing in your life lies outside my will. No door closes without purpose, and no tear falls without bearing fruit. I am writing your story with love, with wisdom, and with my eternal power. And when that story is told, it will not merely testify of you, but of me, the one who is forever faithful, forever loving, and forever knowing what is best for you. Continue walking, O child of faith. Let each step you take become proof that you trust in a God who never errs, never forgets, and never stops loving. For this journey is not meant to display your strength, but to reveal my faithfulness. And when you look back, you will see that every season, sunlit or storm-tossed, has worked together to shape you into the person I destined you to be. My beloved child, now I desire to speak to you about your true calling, the mission I planted deep within your soul before you were born. It is not a task, nor a title, nor something meant to win human praise. The true calling does not lie in what you do, but in who you become while doing it. It is not measured by outward stature, but by how much of me you reflect in every small act. There are many who walk in my name, but not all walk in my will. Some hands are busy, yet their hearts remain distant. Some voices shout loudly, yet lack love. I do not seek the noise of activity. I seek the rhythm of genuine love. Your mission does not begin with action. It begins with communion. Only when you dwell in me will all that you do carry the breath of heaven. You may think that to fulfill your mission you must possess great strength, talent, or influence. But my child, I do not choose the strong. I make the chosen strong. The calling does not demand perfection. It calls for surrender. You do not need to know everything. You only need to know me. I did not call you to prove your worth. I called you to reveal mine through your life. Understand this. My child, there is a fine line between working for me and working with me. Many run ahead believing they are laboring for me, yet drift away from my presence. They grow weary because they forget that I alone am the source of strength. But I do not seek exhausted warriors. I seek those who rest in grace. The true mission is not accomplished through striving, but through connection. Everything you do in union with me carries life. Everything you do apart from me, no matter how successful it may seem, turns to dust. Do not fear a great calling, for I will never entrust you with a task without giving you the strength to fulfill it. Every calling comes with its own grace. When I called Abraham to go forth, I also gave him the promise of my companionship. When I sent Moses to face Pharaoh, I placed a rod of power in his hand. When I chose David from the fields, I placed within him the heart of a king. Therefore, when I call you, you do not need to become someone else. You only need to become yourself in my hands. The true mission begins with understanding identity. You cannot fulfill what I have entrusted to you unless you know who you are in me. You are not the product of failure, circumstance, or human judgment. You are my masterpiece woven by grace and the breath of heaven. When you walk in your true identity, you will no longer seek recognition. You will seek only my presence. When you know to whom you belong, misunderstanding will no longer shake you, for only the Creator has the right to define His creation. My child, I have seen the longing in your heart to do great things for me. But I want to teach you, this greatness is not always found under the spotlight. Sometimes it is hidden in the small acts done with a great heart, a sincere word of comfort, an act of forgiveness, a quiet prayer for another. All these are part of your mission. I do not look as the world looks. I see the motive. While the world asks, how much have you achieved? I ask, how much have you loved? For love is the essence of every calling. The true mission will also require you to step out of your comfort zone. You will need to do what you have never done, say what you have never dared to say, and walk into places you have never been. But remember, the center of my will is the safest place for your soul. When I tell you to go, it is not to make life harder, but because I see what you cannot. I know that on the other side of obedience lies the miracle. There will be moments when you grow weary, days when you wish to stop. There will be those who doubt you and voices that mock you. But remember this, the mission does not need to be understood, it needs to be completed. I do not measure you by outcomes, I measure you by faithfulness. A single seed of faithfulness in my hand can become a forest of wonders. When you do your part, I will do mine, and my part will always surpass your imagination. My child, do not compare yourself with others. Each one has a unique path and assignment in my body. You do not need to move as fast as someone else. You only need to walk in the right direction. I do not need you to be prominent. I need you to be present, for only in presence can faith breathe. Do your work with joy, even if no one notices, because heaven does, and I, who see in secret, will reward you openly. Remember, my dear one, the mission is not a burden, but a privilege. It does not exhaust you if you learn to carry it with me. It does not steal your youth if you walk in the rhythm of grace. I do not want you to run, I want you to walk with me. Every slow step of obedience holds more value than 1,000 miles of directionless activity. When you live with purpose, you will see that every single day carries meaning. Beloved child, do not wait until you feel ready to begin, for you will never feel completely ready. It is when you step forward that grace unfolds. When you say, yes, I will open the way. When you take one step, I will move mountains. When you do the small part, I will do the greater. The true mission never exceeds your capacity when you walk with me, for I myself am the strength of that mission. So today I ask you, are you willing to be used by me? Not to be praised, but to love. Not to shine, but to reflect the light. Not to become great, but to become useful to the kingdom. You need not worry about the reward, for your reward is me. O chosen one, rise up. Wipe your tears and fasten the shoes of faith once more. Step out from the land of what you know into the land of what I have prepared. Let your heart beat in harmony with the rhythm of heaven. Let love be the fire that drives all you do. And when you look back, you will see the mission was never about finding something for your life, but about letting your life become proof that I am faithful. Then everything you have done, no matter how small, will echo through eternity as a song of praise to my unchanging grace. My beloved child, it is time for you to learn something deeper than all knowledge, to live in my continual presence. Not only in prayer or moments of emotion, but in every breath, every heartbeat, every still moment of your life. My presence is not a fleeting moment. It is the eternal atmosphere that surrounds you. But to perceive it, you must learn inner stillness, for I do not come in noise, but in the gentle whisper of peace. You often think I arrive when you pray hard enough or when you feel spiritual. But my child, I have never left you, not for a single second. When you work, I am there. When you sigh from weariness, I hear. When you fall silent because words have run out, I am still speaking to you in the language of presence. You do not need to search for me in distant places, for I am within you, in your breath, in your gaze, in every movement of your heart. My presence is not meant merely to comfort you, but to transform you. When you become aware that I am there, every anxiety begins to fade, for fear cannot stand before perfect love. When you know that my eyes look upon you with mercy, you will cease seeking approval from others. When you realize that my hand is holding yours, you will no longer tremble at the crossroads of doubt. That awareness itself is the fountain of peace the world cannot give. My child, remember, this peace does not come from favorable circumstances, but from the awareness of my presence. You can stand calm in the midst of the storm if you know that I am with you. Just as when the disciples panicked in the boat, the winds and waves ceased only when they recognized that I was there. They did not have to make the storm disappear, they only needed to know that I was still in the boat. And so it is with you. Do not try to silence every storm. Instead, keep your heart still and see me smiling in the midst of the waves. You ask, how can I live in your presence amid the busyness of this world? I answer, through a heart that remembers and ears that listen. Learn to pause in the flow of your work, even for just a minute, to say, Lord, I know you are here. That simple sentence becomes a meeting point between heaven and earth. When you do this each day, your soul will gradually be tuned to hear me more clearly. You will begin to notice the small signs, a gentle nudge in your heart, an unexpected calm, a tender thought that enters your weariness. That is me. My beloved, what hinders you is not distance but distraction. The world knows how to keep your soul busy, not only with work but with worry, fear, and fleeting pleasures. It makes you forget that your soul's true home is in me. But today I tell you, return to the rhythm of heaven. Learn to breathe slowly and love deeply, for every slow breath is an opportunity to recognize that I am here. When you awake, I am the dawn upon your face. When you work, I am the quiet strength in your hands. When you grow weary, I am the gentle breath upon your shoulder. When you fall asleep, I am the arm embracing your soul. No moment of your life exists outside my covering. The question is not whether I am present, but whether you are aware of it. My dear one, learn to see the world through the eyes of the Spirit. When you behold the sunlight, remember, it is the reflection of my glory. When you hear the birds sing, know that it is the melody of my presence. When you feel love for someone, understand that love flows from my own heart within you. When you recognize me everywhere, you will cease searching for me in loud miracles and begin to find me in the sacred simplicity of each day. My child, there will be times when I speak through silence. Do not fear that silence. It is not emptiness but fullness without words. I am silent to teach you to listen with your soul rather than your ears. When all outer sounds fade, you will hear my voice within, familiar as a heartbeat, gentle, steady, and unceasing. I want you to understand that living in my presence does not mean you will never feel sorrow or weakness. On the contrary, it means you have a place to fall and arms to catch you. When you are lost, I am the direction. When you stumble, I am the hand that lifts. When you weep, I am the shoulder you lean upon. When you are still, I am the tender call within your heart. Do not think that only in church or during prayer can you touch me. Every place where you are, if you open your heart, can become a sanctuary. The desk, the cafe, the quiet street, the small room, each can be a place where you and I meet. When you invite me into the ordinary, it becomes holy. When you let me be present in the small things, the small becomes great. And my beloved, let my presence within you become the light that radiates outward. Others may not see me, but they will feel peace when they are near you. They may not hear my voice, yet they will recognize its tone through the way you speak. They may not know me, but they will sense something different because it is I who dwell in you. You do not need to strive to prove your faith. Simply remain truly present with me, and that very presence will naturally become a testimony stronger than any sermon, my dear child. My presence never fades. It is like a river that flows without ceasing, whether you are aware of it or not. Learn to immerse yourself in that river, release your resistance, surrender to grace, and allow me to carry you along the current of my will. You will see when you stop struggling to swim against the flow, you will be brought to the place where you truly belong. Therefore, today I invite you not only to believe in me, but to live in me. Do not seek me only in times of hardship. Speak with me in every rhythm of your ordinary days. Do not listen only when you are in need. Listen in order to love. Let every moment become a bridge between heaven and earth, where your soul beats in harmony with the pulse of the Holy Spirit. My beloved child, for the soul to truly walk into the light, you must have the courage to face the darkness within yourself. Darkness is not an enemy to flee from, but a part of the soil, yet to be touched by light. Many seek peace by hiding their pain, but buried pain never disappears. It only waits for the day it resurfaces. I am not afraid of the darkness within you, for I am the light that can pierce through it. But you must be brave enough to open the door you have long kept locked. I know that deep within you still carry wounds that have never been named, memories, suppressed words that shattered part of your soul, failures that made you doubt your worth. You do not need to pretend to be strong before me. Come as you are, broken, weak, wounded. Only when you are honest can I begin to heal you. Child, the darkness within you is not as frightening as you imagine. It is simply a place waiting to be loved. When you avoid it, it grows. When you acknowledge it, it transforms. I did not come to condemn, but to save. There is no wound too deep, no sin too heavy to make me turn away. Every shadowed corner of your being is a place where I long to plant my light. You cannot erase darkness through your own effort, for darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can. Let me be that light. Bring every fear, every wound, every failure before me, not to be judged, but to be cleansed. Just as a potter washes the clay before shaping it, I too will wash your soul before renewing it. Do not be ashamed when you see what is unlovely within. I have seen it all long before, and I have loved you still. My child, so often the darkness does not come from outside, but from the words you speak to yourself. Those whispers that tell you you're not good enough, not worthy, never truly forgiven. Those are lies of the enemy meant to imprison your soul in guilt and shame. But I declare you are redeemed, you are forgiven, you are made new. Nothing can change that truth. When you embrace it, the chains of condemnation fall away. Lift your eyes not to deny your past mistakes, but to behold grace greater than all sin. Let my light shine into the deepest place of your heart, the place where you once said, "Lord, please don't touch that." It is precisely there that I want to place my loving hand and bring healing. True healing is not forgetting, but remembering without pain. There are shadows within you born from fear, fear of abandonment, fear of not being loved, fear of loss, fear of not being enough. But my child, my love is perfect, and perfect love drives out fear. Allow me to fill those empty spaces with my presence. When I am in you, you will no longer fear loneliness, for you are never alone. When I am in you, you will no longer fear failure, for every failure is but a small chapter in your story of victory. When I am in you, you will no longer fear the dark, for I am the light within your heart. You cannot escape fear by running, but you can overcome it by standing still in my love. Let my love cover you like a warm cloak, so that fear will find no place to dwell. My child, when I lead you through the valley of inner darkness, you will experience two things at once: pain and lightness. Pain because the old layers are being stripped away, lightness because your soul is being set free. You will learn to forgive others and also yourself. Forgiveness does not mean pretending everything is fine. It means accepting that the past cannot be changed, but you can be renewed. Forgiveness is the act of laying down a burden so you may walk forward. And as you forgive, I will pour into your heart a living stream that washes away bitterness and heals every wound. Darkness cannot dwell in a heart that forgives, for forgiveness is the manifestation of light. You must know that overcoming inner darkness is not a journey of a day or two, but a process of companionship. Each day I will teach you a little more about peace, a little more about faith, and a little more about seeing yourself through my eyes. I will show you beauty even within your scars. Scars will no longer mark failure, but stand as proof that healing has taken place. When you dare to face the darkness, it will lose its power over you. The light I have placed within you will outshine all the shadows around you. My beloved, do not fear your own weakness. I do not require you to be strong in order to draw near to me. It is when you are weak that I am closest. Paul once wrote, "When I am weak, then I am strong. For in weakness you release your need to save yourself, and that is when I can move fully. Let your tears fall for every tear that drops into my hands becomes a seed of hope. Let me wipe those tears away and place upon your lips a new smile, a smile not born of circumstance, but of the assurance that I have overcome the world. My child, inner darkness cannot be conquered by human strength, but by the light of truth. And the truth is this: you are loved, chosen, and redeemed. Nothing in your past can alter that. When you believe this truth, darkness will begin to fade. You will find your heart growing brighter, lighter, and filled with peace. Do not strive to eliminate darkness. Simply open the door and let the light in. Your task is to trust and surrender. Mine is to transform. Oh, my beloved one, when you step out from that dark place, you will behold a wonder. The very darkness you once feared will become testimony to my grace. Where you once fell, you will stand firm. Where you once hurt, you will comfort others. Where you once lost, you will receive back in divine joy. You will understand that every inner trial came not to destroy you, but to open you, to shape you into one who reflects my light to the world. And when you look back, you will no longer feel ashamed of the darkness you once carried, but grateful for it, became the canvas upon which my light shines most brightly. Therefore, my child, walk through the darkness, not running, not fearing, not denying. Take my hand and move forward, for I am your light. When you walk with me, darkness is no longer a threat, but a doorway to freedom. Remember, no night lasts longer than the dawn I have appointed. When your dawn comes, its light will not only shine upon you, but radiate to many others, and they will know that there is a God who turns darkness into light, tears into joy, and the weak into witnesses of eternal grace. My beloved child, for your soul to be truly free, you must learn to walk in the spirit of forgiveness. Forgiveness is not a feeling, but a choice, a sacred act that opens the door for light to enter where darkness once reigned. When you refuse to forgive, you bind yourself to what is past, keeping your soul imprisoned in bitterness and resentment. But when you forgive, those chains fall away, and you are restored to freedom. Many believe forgiveness is weakness, but in truth only the strong can forgive. Forgiveness is not the denial of pain, but the declaration that pain no longer holds dominion over you. You cannot change the past, but you can choose not to let it define your future. My child, I see the wounds others have left within you. I see the nights you lie awake, your heart filled with the question, why did they do that? I hear the sighs that escape you as you try to make sense of what cannot be understood. But my dear one, there are things that do not need to be understood, only released. Forgiveness does not mean approving what was wrong. It means handing the right to judge back to me, the one who judges righteously. When you cling to resentment, you are carrying a burden that was never yours to bear. Yet when you lay it down at my feet, I will turn what once caused you pain into a testimony of grace. Let me be the one who handles justice, and you the one who guards peace. Forgiveness is not only for others, it is a gift you must also give yourself. You have condemned yourself for far too long, punishing your own soul for past mistakes. You believe you deserve to suffer, that by enduring enough pain you could somehow redeem your wrongs. But no one can atone through pain. Only the blood of the one who was crucified is sufficient to cleanse sin. When you receive my forgiveness, you are invited into freedom. So if I have already forgiven you, what reason remains for you to imprison yourself in guilt? Lift your head, breathe in grace, and declare, I am forgiven. That truth will set your soul free. My child, forgiveness is the road to healing. When you refuse to forgive, the wound keeps bleeding. But when you forgive, the wound is stitched together with the thread of love. Perhaps the one who hurt you never apologized, but you do not forgive because they deserve it. You forgive because you desire freedom. Forgiveness does not erase memory, but it removes the poison from that memory. You may still remember, yet the pain no longer lingers. You may still look back, but with eyes of peace. That is the miracle only grace can perform. When you forgive, you are doing what the one who forgave you has done. In that moment, you become more like me than ever before. Beloved, there are some who have hurt you without realizing it, and others who know they have but feel no remorse. Do not let their attitude decide your peace. Forgiveness is a one-way decision. It requires no consent from the other side. When you forgive, you are cutting the cord that ties you to their past. You are no longer bound by their words, actions, or silence. You return to being yourself, light-free and radiant. I will bring justice on your behalf, but in my way, in my time, so that no one loses the chance to be transformed. My child, understand too that forgiveness does not mean keeping every relationship. There are people you must forgive but also walk away from. To forgive does not mean to allow continued harm. It is to unbind the soul, not to force it to stay. Let me guide you in discerning which bonds to keep and which to release. When you place those relationships in my hands, I will either heal them or replace them with something better. Trust that I never take away without intending to give back in greater measure. Forgiveness is also the journey of learning to love again. After being wounded, your heart tends to close. You fear that opening it once more will lead to betrayal again. But true love cannot exist in fear. Let me teach you how to love without being chained to the past. When I said love your enemies, I was not calling you to weakness. I was inviting you into the freedom of compassion. When you love the one who hurt you, you are not excusing their actions. You are declaring that what they did does not define you. You are no longer ruled by evil. You have chosen to become an instrument of good. My beloved, forgiveness is a journey, not a single moment. There will be days when you believe you've let go, yet a memory stirs and pain resurfaces. Do not condemn yourself. It only means the wound is still healing. Every time you choose to release it again, you move closer to complete peace. Forgiveness is an act of faith. Faith that I am working behind the scenes, that true justice is never forgotten, and that no one can rob you of blessing when you walk in righteousness. And then there will come a day when you look back and find your heart as light as the wind. You will realize that the pain of yesterday was the very soil where the seeds of patience and love began to grow. You will understand that every tear was not in vain. They watered the roots of your soul and made it strong. In that moment, you will see that forgiveness never took anything away from you. It only made you more like me, full of grace, full of peace, and no longer bound by the past. My child, I invite you today to walk in that spirit. Call out the names of those who once hurt you and say, I release them to God. Then call your own name and say, I forgive myself because God has forgiven me. Soon you will feel the weight begin to lift like smoke dissolving into the morning sky. From that moment on, you will walk lighter, freer, and truer, for you will have learned one of the most sacred lessons of heaven, that only those who forgive truly understand the meaning of love. My beloved one, when you have learned to forgive, it means you have taken a great step forward on your journey towards spiritual maturity. Now I desire to lead you deeper into the place where faith is refined and wisdom is born. For young faith is easily shaken, but mature faith stands firm amid the storm. True wisdom does not come from eloquent words or clever thoughts. It springs from listening, waiting, and obeying. There are lessons that can only be grasped through the trials of the soul, and blessings that only those faithful in silence can receive. My child, faith is not a feeling. It is a choice you make each day, even when you feel nothing at all. When you say, "I believe in God," it is not because you always see me, but because you know I am still at work in what you cannot yet see. Faith does not demand proof. It lives by trust. It is like a seed hidden in the soil. It does not see the sun, yet it grows upward, believing the light awaits. In the same way, I want you to trust me when there are no signs to encourage you, when prayers seem unanswered and the road ahead is shrouded in mist. For in those very moments your faith is being refined until it shines like pure gold. My child, there will be seasons when I ask you to wait, not because I have forgotten, but because I am shaping steadfastness within you. Immature faith rushes, mature faith rests in peace. When you can wait and still give thanks, when you cannot see but still take the next step, when you remain silent, yet still believe, then you are growing in the Spirit. Anyone can believe when all is well, but I am seeking those who still believe. When the winds turn against them, those who, like Paul and Silas, can sing hymns in the prison night because they know I am there. My beloved, true wisdom does not come from knowledge or experience alone, but from knowing my heart. A wise person not only discerns what is right, but also knows when and how to walk rightly. The wisdom of the world teaches you to compete and to cling, but heavenly wisdom teaches you to yield and to release. The world teaches you to hoard, while I teach you to let go that you may receive more. The world tells you to speak loudly to be heard, but I teach you to be still, that you may discern the true voice among 1,000 false ones. Ask me for wisdom, as Solomon did, not to be greater than others, but to live in harmony with my will. Wisdom also means knowing when to speak and when to be silent. There are times when I call you to defend truth with your words, but there are also moments when I call you to preserve peace through silence. Every word you speak has the power to build or to break, to heal or to wound. The wise do not speak to win arguments, they speak to bring light. Let your words be like salt, small, but giving flavor to everything around them. And if ever you do not know what to say, do not fear the silence, for I can speak on your behalf through that very stillness. My child, to grow in faith is to learn to see all things through my eyes. You will no longer ask, "Why is this happening?" but rather, "Lord, what are you teaching me through this?" When you move from questioning to learning, your soul will find peace. For you will know that nothing happens outside of my sovereignty. Even what seems like loss is quietly bearing fruit. The seed must first fall and decay before it multiplies, and so must you allow parts of your old self to die that new life may emerge. That is the path of mature faith. There are times when I will let you walk through the silence of my presence. It is not because I am distant, but because I want you to learn to listen through faith rather than feeling. Just as a father teaches his child to walk, he no longer carries the child, yet remains close. I too step back, not to let you fall, but to help you realize that you can stand. My beloved one, do not fear the empty spaces, for it is within those very spaces that your faith is being strengthened. When you no longer feel the need to prove anything, yet continue to walk faithfully, that is when you have touched true maturity. Wisdom also teaches you to recognize your own limits. The immature heart seeks to do everything to save everyone, to prove itself in every way. But the mature soul knows that not everything good is within my will. There are doors that must be closed, relationships that must be left for me to handle, and battles that are not yours to fight. When you learn to say no to what does not come from me, You are preserving your energy for what I have truly called you to do. This is the wisdom of surrender, to choose less, but go deeper, to pause, so that you may go farther. My child, I do not ask for your perfection. I ask for your steadfastness. Every time you fall, rise again and look toward me. Every time you lose your way, return through prayer. Every time you doubt, remember what I have done. Maturity does not mean you will never be weak. It means knowing where to find strength when you are weak. Let your faith become more than words. Let it become your breath, your habit, the reflex of your soul. When you respond with peace instead of fear, with love instead of anger, with trust instead of confusion, that is the sign that you are growing. And my dear one, a mature faith always gives birth to gratitude. When you truly know me, you will give thanks not only for what is good, but also for what you cannot yet understand. You will realize that even tears have purpose, and that in all things, I am working for your good. When gratitude becomes the rhythm of your breathing, you will no longer be shaken by circumstances. You will be like a tree planted by streams of living water, whose roots go deep into the soil of grace, steadfast through the wind and evergreen through the drought. My beloved, your faith will never stop growing if you remain in me. I will continue to teach you to discern the true voice from the false, and to open your eyes to see the real value of every season. One day you will look back and see that every trial which once frightened you became the very place where I taught you wisdom, and then you will no longer pray for an easier life but for a steadfast heart. You will stop asking when and begin saying no matter what. That is mature faith, faith that stands not because it sees, but because it knows that the one who promised is faithful. My precious child, after long seasons of sowing and tears after nights, when you thought your strength was gone now, I declare to you the season of fruitfulness has come, not because your circumstances have changed, but because your heart has been prepared. Your season is not defined by the calendar, but by the rhythm of your soul, and now that rhythm beats in harmony with heaven. When the roots of faith have gone deep and your heart has learned stillness, the flowers will bloom effortlessly. No one sees the day a seed breaks through the soil, yet when the time comes, it rises, just as I have been working quietly within you through all those unseen years. My child, the fruit I speak of is not wealth, fame, or anything outward. True fruit is peace in the storm, joy that is not tied to circumstances, kindness that expects nothing in return. Such fruit does not boast, but it carries fragrance. It is not found in noise, but blooms in the fields of faithfulness. Every time you choose faith over fear, love over resentment, gratitude over complaint, you are blossoming in my eyes. Not everyone will notice, but heaven knows. And I, the gardener of your soul, rejoice to see that your tree has begun to bear sweet fruit. Do not rush to pick the fruit, my child. The season of harvest is not only about reaping, but also about learning to sustain the blessing. Many receive, but few know how to preserve. Remember, roots matter more than branches. If you remain in me, your fruit will endure, but if you detach from the source, it will wither. Just as a branch cannot bear fruit apart from the vine, neither can you maintain blessing apart from me. Therefore, in your season of success, be more humble than ever. Bow low like a stalk heavy with grain, knowing that all you have is grace. My beloved one, the season of fruitfulness is also the season I will use you to nourish others. The purpose of the flower is not only to be beautiful, but to spread life. The purpose of the fruit is not merely to satisfy hunger, but to plant new seeds. I bless you not so you may keep, but so you may become a channel of blessing. When you share love, understanding, and hope, you are sowing what you have reaped. And then you will witness a miracle. The more you give, the fuller you become. For the river of blessing continues to flow only when it is not dammed. My beloved child, be cautious of the two winds that can cause the blossoms of your harvest to fall: pride and comparison. Pride makes you believe that the flowers bloom because of your own effort, while comparison makes you forget that each garden blooms in its own season. Do not look at others and think their flowers are brighter, for I do not use the same palette for every soul. Some bloom in the light, others release their fragrance quietly in the dark. Some are seen, others are known only to me. Yet every faithful flower brings beauty to my garden. So be at peace and bloom in the way you were created to, for I am pleased with the color of your bloom. The season of fruitfulness will also test your heart. When you are blessed, others will take notice. Some will rejoice with you, but others will envy you. Do not let your heart change because of their gaze. Remember, if I have lifted you up, no one can bring you down unless you step out of my hand. Remain humble as you keep your blessings, and be generous in sharing them. Treat those who envy you with kindness. That very act will make your blessings endure. You do not need to prove your worth. Flowers never have to declare their beauty. Their fragrance speaks for them. My child, in this season, I will open doors that the enemy thought were sealed forever. But remember, not every open door comes from me. Ask for wisdom to discern the difference. Some invitations may appear to be blessings, but are merely distractions. Walk only through the doors where peace dwells, for peace is the seal of my presence upon all that I give. If something stirs unrest within you, pause and ask, Lord, is this the path you have chosen for me? When you learn to follow peace instead of haste, you will keep the harvest you have received. And my beloved, in this season I desire for you to become a living testimony of my faithfulness. Tell of what I have done, not to boast, but so that others may know that I am real. Let your story become a lantern lighting the way for those still walking in darkness. When they see you once broken, once weeping, once believing all was lost, now standing strong, they will know that my grace is true. Every testimony you share will be a seed planted in their hearts, and in time they too will bloom. My precious child, the season of fruitfulness is not the end, but the beginning of a new cycle of grace. After you reap, I will sow again. After you bloom, I will prune again. Every pruning is not punishment, but preparation for a heavier harvest. Do not fear when I cut away branches that have already flowered. I am only making room for new blooms. Like the vine, the more it is pruned, the more fruit it bears. Learn to smile when I work this way, for only those I trust deeply do I dare to prune. Now, my beloved one, step into your season with gratitude. Walk gently, speak less, love more. Let your joy not come from what you hold in your hand, but from the one who holds your hand. Remember, the greatest blessing is not in receiving, but in walking with me through every season. Your time has come. Bloom wholeheartedly. Live your calling fully, and let the whole world see that the hand of God still works miracles through souls who trust in Him. My beloved child, after your soul has blossomed in peace and faith, I now desire to lead you into a deeper realm of maturity, into communion and service. For the fruits of faith are not meant for you alone, but to be shared. No one is called to live in isolation. You were born to be part of my body, for your love is meant to intertwine with the love of others, together weaving a tapestry of light and compassion. When you understand that you do not stand alone, you will see that your calling is truly fulfilled only when it flows into service and love. My beloved child, the world teaches that happiness is found when others serve you, but in my kingdom, true happiness is found when you serve others. It is when you give that your soul is filled. It is when you bow low that you are lifted up. Service is not a lowly task, but a flame that purifies the self. It teaches you humility, patience, and love that expects nothing in return. When you serve from the heart, you are telling me that you understand that love is not a feeling but an action. And in every such act, you are reflecting my image to the world. My beloved, communion is the breath of the soul. When you separate yourself from the community, your faith begins to wither, for fire cannot burn long with only one piece of wood. I have placed you among others, not so that you may be hurt, but so that you may learn to love amidst imperfection. There will be times when you differ, times when you are misunderstood, but these very frictions are the tools I use to refine you. Do not fear when others are not like you, for differences are where grace is revealed. When you learn to yield, to listen, and to forgive, that is when you are contributing to the unity I have long desired for my people. My child, do not seek a perfect community. Become the perfect part within the community I have placed you in. True communion is not built upon sameness, but upon love that knows how to bear with others. When you look at others through the eyes of grace, you will see that within every soul lies my image, though at times it is veiled by wounds or mistakes. You are not called to judge, but to love and to pray. And as you do so, the walls dividing your soul from theirs will fall. I do not want you to love merely in words, but in deeds, to love by sharing, by listening, by truly being present. Service, my child, is not an obligation but a way of life. I do not want you to serve out of guilt or a desire for praise, but because you have received so much love that you cannot keep it to yourself. When you help someone, do it as though you were serving me. When you offer a smile to one in pain, I am the one smiling through their heart. When you wipe the tears of the weary, I am the one wiping yours. Every act you do in silence is written in heaven's book, and I tell you this: no act of love is ever small in my sight. Remember, my child, that service is not confined to church duties or grand gestures. Service can be as simple as listening to someone tell their story to the end. It is patience with the slow to understand. It is interceding for those weak in faith. It is forgiving instead of condemning. It is walking an extra mile for one who cannot go on alone. When you live this way, your whole life becomes a quiet hymn, a wordless song of praise that resounds before my throne. To live in communion also means to know how to receive, not only to give. There will be times when you are the one lifting others, but there will also be times when you must be lifted. Do not be ashamed to lean on someone. In my body, no one is useless, no one is independent. You need others, and they need you. When you open your heart to receive help, you are giving them the chance to express my love. When you allow someone to pray for you, you are nurturing the bonds of my kingdom. So let yourself be tender, strong enough to help, and humble enough to be helped. My child, there will be moments when you grow weary in serving. You will ask, does anyone see? But I tell you, I see. Every time you choose to love quietly, heaven pauses to listen to your footsteps. Every time you choose faithfulness when no one is watching, I record it as a fragrant flower in my garden. Do not fear losing your reward. Your true reward is my presence. Nothing you do out of love is ever wasted. Every drop of your sweat waters the seed of grace that will bloom in someone's life, perhaps one you may never know. My beloved one, let the spirit of communion and service become the very breath of your life. Do not only seek those who are easy to love, but learn to love even those who are difficult. Do not serve only when it is convenient, but serve even when your heart is tired. Do not unite only in times of joy, but hold hands even through times of trial. For it is in those very moments that my light shines brightest. True communion is not measured by effortless joy, but by faithfulness through hardship. My chosen one, if you live in such a way, you will witness miracles unfold. For when a person surrenders themselves to love, the world around them begins to heal. I will use your life to touch thirsty souls like a gentle stream that refreshes a dry and weary land. You do not need to understand the entire plan. You only need to fulfill your part with a sincere heart. And each time you give, you will receive in abundance, not in material possessions, but in the deep peace that only I can bestow. My beloved, you have grown so accustomed to striving, doing, and holding everything together. There have been nights when you forced yourself to believe, clinging tightly to promises while the winds shifted against you. But now I say to you, let go, not of faith itself, but of the burden of trying to sustain it by your own strength. You are not the one who must hold my plan together. It is I who hold you within it. When you rest in trust, you declare that I am big enough to complete what I have begun. Rest, my child, does not mean inaction. It means acting from a place of peace. When your soul rests in me, your actions will no longer be driven by fear of loss, but by confidence in unchanging love. When you truly understand that the outcome is in my hands, you will cease to be shaken by delays or failures. I know what must come, when it must come, and how it will come. You need not strive, compare, or convince others to understand you, for I understand you. When you discover that I am enough, you will find peace, even in the midst of unfinished things. My child, there are seasons when I call you to move, and seasons when I call you to be still. Both are forms of obedience. Do not mistake silence for abandonment. Sometimes, silence is where I speak most deeply. Just as the earth rests after harvest, your soul too must have time to be renewed. Do not fear when you no longer feel my presence as vividly as before, for my love does not fluctuate with your emotions. When you rest in me, you allow the roots of your faith to grow deeper, stretching beyond emotion and anchoring themselves in steadfast trust. Learn, my child, from the bird in the sky. It does not store worry or calculate, yet I provide for it daily. Learn from the lilies of the field. They do not weave their garments or compete, yet they are clothed in splendor by my hand. When you look at creation, you will see that all things rest under my sovereignty. Nothing in the universe fears the future, for everything operates according to my perfect design. And you, soul, whom I love more than all creation, will I not care for you even more, my beloved? Allow your heart to stop wrestling with what was never yours to carry. Cease searching for answers in places that only echo your own voice. There are things I have not yet revealed, not because you are unworthy, but because you do not yet need to know. I hide certain truths to protect you from the weight of premature understanding. Trust that all things hidden today are being arranged for tomorrow's revelation. When you learn to live within the not yet known, your soul will be free. You do not need to know everything. You only need to know who I am. My dear one, when you rest in my plan, you will no longer be haunted by outcomes. You will begin to see through the lens of trust and say, if God has allowed this, there must be good within it. You will no longer demand that everything go your way, for you will understand that my way is always better. You will cease to be agitated by delays because you will know that I am never late. When you reach that place where your soul is calm amid the unexplained, that is when you are dwelling in the safest place of all the rest found within my will. Resting in me does not make you weak, my child. It makes you strong. It allows you to act with clarity instead of panic. When you stop worrying about what to do, I will show you how to live. When you stop craving what I have not yet given, I will open your eyes to what you already have. When you pause to breathe, you will realize that I was never far away. Peace is not a destination. It is the journey you walk with me. And then you will come to realize a profound truth. True rest only comes when you surrender completely. When you lay everything before me, your dreams, your plans, the ones you love, and even the things you do not understand, you will feel an unexplainable lightness, for the burden was never meant to be yours. You are only called to trust. I am the one who acts. You do not need to worry whether your faith is enough. Just let your heart rest in my embrace. In that place, you will no longer chase after miracles, for my very presence is the miracle itself. My child, let me teach you to slow down, to hear the whisper of the wind, to feel the warmth of the sun, to notice the hidden blessings within each breath. Let every day be a song of gratitude, every moment a silent prayer. When you live in the rhythm of grace, Fear of missing out will fade away because you will know that what belongs to you will arrive in its appointed time. There is no need to strive, no need to cling. Simply remain still in my love and you will lack nothing. Now, beloved one, I say to you, rest. Not because the journey has ended, but because you have learned the rhythm of heaven, the rhythm of trust, surrender, and peace. Let your soul be like the sea, after the storm, deep, calm, and reflective of light. Let my peace dwell within you, and you will become a place of rest for many others. For the soul that has found peace in me will know how to bring peace to the world. My beloved, the light you have received was never meant to be hidden within your heart, but to shine forth to guide souls still wandering in the dark. You have been transformed not only for yourself, but to be a living testimony that my grace is real and that my love is still at work among humankind. Child light does not struggle to shine. It only needs to be placed where it belongs. In the same way, you do not need to strive for greatness. Just allow me to shine through you. When you walk in humility, when your words and deeds are led by love, you are already the light. Do not think you must perform something extraordinary. It is enough to live with a pure, faithful, and kind heart, and the world will see me through you. Light does not always need to blaze. Sometimes it is but a small lamp, yet bright enough to lead another out of the shadows of despair. Remember, my child, that true light does not come from within yourself, but from me, the one who dwells in you. The closer you stay to me, the brighter you shine. When you spend time in my presence, you are illuminated, recharged, renewed. Therefore, do not wander from the source in search of your own glow. Whenever you seek glory for yourself, that light begins to fade. But when you live for my glory, you will shine more radiantly than ever before. Let your life be a clear mirror, so that when others look at you, they see my love, not your reputation. My child, this world thirsts for light more than ever. People smile while their hearts are empty. They chase after noise while their souls lie silent and lifeless. I send you not to condemn, but to rekindle hope. Let your kindness heal hardened hearts. Let your words be like streams in a desert. Let your actions become a living sermon, so that those who have never read the scriptures may see the gospel through your life. You need not hold a sign to preach. Simply hold my heart. For every soul that loves quietly is a candle in the night. My beloved child, true light must learn to stand firm, even in the midst of darkness. There will be times when you grow weary of shining while those around you remain lost in ignorance. There will be moments when you wish to dim yourself to blend into the night, so you will no longer be noticed. But my child, light is created to shine, not to hide. Darkness can never overcome light, not even the faintest ray. Each time you choose love over hatred, forgiveness over revenge, patience over irritation, you push back the darkness a little more. Do not measure your strength by how loud you are, but by how steadfast you remain. I know there will be times when your kindness is misunderstood and your goodness rejected. There will be moments when the world tries to extinguish your light. Yet, my child, true light does not seek recognition. It only seeks to be faithful. Even when others fail to see, I see. Even when they oppose you, your light still pierces their souls, and one day they will remember. Therefore, do not lose heart when you are misunderstood. Do not fear when your love is not returned. Every act born of love is multiplied by. My hand for light can never fade when it rests in the hands of the Creator. My dear one, use that light to guide those whose faith has grown weak. Lift them up with words of encouragement. Share what you have learned. Walk beside them in truth. When you help others rediscover faith, you are joining me in expanding the kingdom of heaven on earth. But remember, to keep your light shining, you must return to the source. Do not become so busy serving that you forget to sit with me. Do not focus so much on shining that you forget to be renewed. Only in the stillness of my presence will your light be kept from fading. And my child, those who carry the light must also learn to shine with compassion, not with condemnation. Let your light bring warmth, not glare. Some need correction, yes, but they will only listen when they can feel love in your words. True light does not blind others. It helps them see the way. When you speak, let it be with grace. When you act, let it be with mercy. When you live, live as one who has been redeemed, so that all who see you may know there is a living one within you, and he is worthy to be sought. Thank you for listening to today's message. Subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we may receive the words of eternal life, strengthen our faith, and walk daily in the boundless love of God. Amen.